I was in a lot of pain after I broke my leg, and I wasn't too sure where they were going to take me. But when I arrived at AUBMC, I didn't refuse, because I assumed the hospital to be equal in standard with American hospitals.
Most patients arrive at AUBMC emergency room weak, vulnerable, and in a considerable amount of pain. In such a deliberating state, these patients are unable to care for themselves, let alone worry about the actions of their care providers. Instead, they would like to assume that their arrival signals the end of their pain and the beginning of their recovery. However, despite the well-built reputation of AUBMC in the region, this unfortunately has not been the case for a growing number of patients. Rami Anabtawi, a junior pre-med student at AUB, broke both the bones in his lower right leg and was admitted into AUBMC. His experience as a patient at AUBMC is not something he would readily repeat, to say the least.
The care at AUBMC was a lot worse than I expected it to be. If I had to pinpoint who were the reason for such, if I were to pinpoint the reason for this opinion, it would be because of the nurses. I was working as a nurse in an American hospital, so I'm familiar with the standards of nursing care that one can expect. The nurses I found in the hospital were pretty lazy and unsympathetic and very inattentive to my needs, as well as they had very short level of patience.
The medical staff's inattentiveness and lack of accountability for their actions have led to further damage of Rami's injury in terms of massive scarring and an uneasy rehabilitation process.
As far as the surgery on my leg was concerned, I don't feel qualified to comment on whether the doctor did a good job or not, but I do feel that I would have gotten less scarring in America. They would have been more attentive to the psychological aspects of my injury, such as prolonged scarring or treatment.
Moreover, the Patient Affairs Office is obligated to defend the patient's interest if valid, regardless of the hospital's standing. However, AUBMC's Patient Affairs Office's function, in many cases, is believed to be the complete opposite.
Another thing that I found in AUBMC was the Patient Affairs Department was very unhelpful. Perhaps the most disturbing experience at AUBMC was with the Patient Affairs Department. When I went to them in writing and in person to complain about my experience at the hospital, I didn't receive much sympathy or much support. I found that they were more interested in protecting the image of the hospital and protecting the hospital's interest than my own, which is very unfortunate, because that department was set up to support patients and to look after the interests of patients. But somewhere along the line, I feel that that department was corrupted.
Many students, other than Mr. Anabtawi, have regrettably experienced similar disappointments concerning the level of care they received from AUBMC's staff. There have been many complaints regarding the lack of punctuality, as well as the lack of efficient prioritization of patient care.
A few weeks ago I had food poisoning, and I was in a really bad state, so it was around 9 p.m. and we went to the hospital with family. When we got there, they had me wait for about 15 minutes, and then someone else walked in. She was complaining of like minor headaches and things like that, and she went in immediately when I had been sitting there for 15 minutes clearly suffering. So I don't think that's a very good way to treat patients. You should prioritize.
Hanan Halabi, a senior AUB student majoring in psychology, has been left frustrated at the fact that AUBMC fails to provide healthcare at an appropriate, timely manner.
Mostly two things really bother me about taking appointments at AUH. The first thing is that it takes about half an hour to 45 minutes for you to actually get in after you come on time for your appointment, so the lack of punctuality. And the second thing is that in order to take an appointment with a specialized doctor, you need to first go to a family medicine doctor and then get a referral to another doctor, which makes everything much less efficient.
As long as the priorities of AUBMC stray from patient care, especially for students, its reputation as a significantly important medical center in the region will continue to diminish.